Hello everyone, this is TalesFilm109 and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. So in the last video, I started going through the Snow Temple up to beating the mini-boss, a Wizrobe, where I got the fire arrows. Now it's time to start going through the rest of the dungeon, in which we have to finally start rising the central pillar. Before that though, it's time to go back into this other room. Oh, hold it. I forgot. I gotta melt this first. Yeah, this is still post-commentation because all three of the videos I recorded decided it would be fun to screw me over, as much as my aim was for that first shot. But first I go back in here to go and collect some things I can now get. For one thing, I can finally shoot this eye to make this platform rise. However, this is actually timed, and after a while the eye will reset and you'll have to hit it again. I didn't know that, so I hit it already. What I did know was the invisible platforms that are actually over here, which you need the Lens of Truth to see, and you'll want to see them because they're tiny. And I was so worried about screwing up these jumps because, as you can see, I was having a bit of trouble going straight. Yes, apparently the way I use an analog stick, I'm a drunkard. Anyways, in here is the next stray fairy, which finally, about halfway through collecting all the stray fairies, still 8 more to go. And I actually go back down here because, well, one of the reasons is because now I can finally deal with all the freezers now that I have the fire arrows to advance on. And it's important to do this because, as shown on the map, there actually is a chest in this room. And this chest is not a stray fairy, or money, or anything of the sort. It's actually a key. So, you don't get this now, you may find yourself getting a little lost later. And yet, you get to kill the freezers, and it just made me really happy that I had fire arrows, because, oh my gosh, killing anything in one hit is fun. But you see, the chest has that more cool looking visual, more detailed, so therefore it's more important. And here I was hoping, oh, give me some magic, please, thank you. And yeah, but before going back upstairs, it is important to start dealing with the central pillar. Now that with the fire arrows, we can reach the area that will actually allow us to raise this pillar, which will be necessary to get through the rest of the dungeon. It becomes clear very soon, but there's certain areas that don't have ramps, meaning you'd have to walk by. And if you can't, well, no progress for you, too bad. This room is actually the room that had the Deku Flower. It's down below, just in the very case you screw up any jumps. There's two different things to do here. One, there's a torch puzzle. I don't know why they keep bothering with torch puzzles. They're not that difficult to figure out, but it's timed. I guess that's the whole thing. The other thing is to kill the freezards. Doing one of these unlocks a door. Doing the other makes a chest appear. I forgot which, okay. Freezards is chest. Torches are doors, because as we all know, torches have a certain mechanism to doors. Somehow it's a lock, and lighting them activates the tumblers that's opening the door. And I got my 8th fairy. Yay! Stray fairies refill about 3 hearts each time, so if you're in need of health, be on the lookout for a stray fairy. They can be kind of useful, especially if you don't collect too many heart pieces. But again, I have far more hearts than anyone would ever need to go through this dungeon. 6 is the most you would need. You'd be fine if you had 5. If you still only have 4, then how did you miss so many heart pieces? There are so many opportunities in this game. I at least had 5 by the time I got to this dungeon, even when I didn't know anything about this game. And here's the switch. This will raise up the pillar. But just be sure to get rid of those blue sections, because if you miss one, you're going to have to do some awkward backtracking. Thankfully, they're all on your way up, but you don't want to miss the first set just because you're rushing. And unfortunately, this pillar actually does matter when you start going through these doors, because now you can't walk through the middle. I thought that was kind of annoying. because now I just had to go this way instead. But of course it didn't matter because there is a couple more items to collect, again with the fire arrow. Some more chests. Now that we can melt the ice, that means we can reach various blocks and switches. Blocks and switches. The ultimate design of a Zelda dungeon. Except Breath of the Wild, but that didn't really have much in terms of a normal dungeon. Quite frankly, I think the shrines in Breath of the Wild are better than the divine beasts. I never beat the game though. Once our Switch broke down. This was before cloud saves were a thing, so I had to start the game over, and eventually I just stopped playing it. I should probably get back to playing through that game again. I at least had a goal that I would complete all shrines and find all memories before going to Hyrule Castle, but no more. Doing anything else would be a completionist nightmare. And that's unfortunate. One thing I liked about Ocarina of Time was that it did feel manageable to get 100% game, and in this game it's definitely worth 100%ing. Definitely. Because of how involved the side quest content is. Now, having got that chest, I start moving this block towards the other side. As you can see, there is a box on the other side of the room, and it has a stray fairy. I think I've mentioned in Woodfall Temple before, but you need to check everything. Pots, boxes, whatever. Whatever it takes, as long as that great fairy's mask shimmers, you search the room. The central room is an exception because, well, you can't get everything right away. Then again, there was a room like that in Woodfall Temple. I think all dungeons have one room like that. In the last dungeon, it goes a little more absurd, but last dungeon, what do you expect? See, there's the stray fairy. I really should make a habit of just having the Great Fairy's mask out at all times. I actually broke a habit in this dungeon, actually, because usually I leave my ocarina on the right C button no matter what, but I guess with all the masks, it kind of became a little just annoying to follow that stick of mine. Anyways, that's what moving the double blocks into that position did, in case you forgot, because this is another video. And for heaven's sakes, very few of you have probably watched it anyway, especially to the very end. Now, with that said and done, it's time to start dealing with the central room, but the central pillar kind of messes me over a little bit, because it blocks the central pathway, and what I did forget is, as I go through the green door, the emerald green door, there's nowhere else to walk here. Boo-hoo! But luckily, there's stairs! Yeah. Oh, I didn't hurt. Oh! Yeah, that was a pro roll. I rolled into the grass and broke it. Who has ever done that in a Zelda game? You can probably only do it in the 64 games, but it was so cool that I did it nonetheless. Oh, that made me so happy. I felt so achieved. What does that say about me? During the summer, I've got nothing else to achieve over, except my personal Sonic animation projects. I just find doing those fun. I was surprised that the one I made recently got over 1 million views. I wonder if that's gonna become a thing. We'll see. I think I'm getting better at Source Filmmaker, but that's beside the point, because here is the giant pillar. And you don't want to ignore these, just punch them right now. You gotta punch him out! You gotta punch him out! And then it drops. It may seem like a stupid idea at first because it's lowering the pillar. What are we gonna do when we reach the top floor? That won't be a problem. What would be a problem is if I fell all the way to the bottom because I screwed up that ramp area. The something. We'll call it the something because I don't know the name. And here are some more blue pillar chunks to deal with. I could have dealt with the one up here. And, well, I did. But there's still one below. Did you see that thing shatter? Goron Link is strong and tall. I still can't believe how tall Goron Link is. Now let's just roll down and take care of this other chunk. Now, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. The pillar should be fine. Not too much in terms of central mechanic, but it's different. Anyways, in here there are more stray fairies and Enos. These guys actually do show up in Termina Field where the Dodongos are near Snowhead during the night. They take over the Dodongo's place, except in the caves. The Enos can be kind of annoying due to how they split up, and then they just start throwing snowballs at you, and you can't keep track anymore. Anyways, that snow on the wall indicates the stray fairy is over there, but I missed. Turns out I had to look at everything, and then it occurred to me, actually, from trying, that you can't shoot magic type arrows when using the Lens of Truth. It won't even become a regular arrow, it just doesn't work. And get back here, this stray fairy was so annoying, but I did get it, at least. And now there's nothing left to do but to unfreeze the stairway, which we end up getting the next two stray fairies very easily. All you have to do is fight a couple monsters. Yeah, stray fairies can even hide in monsters. Like I said, try everything. It's the Dino Phos. And then I was out of Deku Nuts. I didn't prepare for that. That's what the song that time does. You run out of ammo for everything, but it's not until you have to start using the stuff that you suddenly realize you're empty. It happens every single time. And it makes the Dino Phos a tad tougher because they like to dodge a lot, and yeah, jump attacks didn't work. But thankfully, that super spin attack is just so darn mighty awesome. And there we go. See the stray fairies. They come out of enemies too. If you see that mask shine, sparkle, do whatever you must. Do anything. You won't be seen as a complete idiot. But yeah, by destroying the pillar, I can't get across there. There is an alternative way, though. So that's fine. They thought of it. Now, I did have a little trouble trying to remember where the last stray fairy was. It was in this room, but I was having trouble figuring out the best way to get to it, and it takes a little more time before I actually even do. Link. He sounds so much in pain when he takes fall damage in this game compared to Ocarina of Time. Gosh. You had to feel a little bad for him when you deal fall damage in his human form because, oh my gosh, it just sounds like he's in so much pain. I mean, I can't hear right now, but... Oh, right. You move back the tiny bit, you just start going down the stairs again. That bothered me, and it bothers me watching this now because I forgot about it. Anyways, there's the boss door. See? Right there. But no boss key yet. Instead, there's this Deku Flower, and this is how to get to that other area that we can't get to now that the pillar has been lowered. See? That's why you were able to just punch the stuff earlier. Oh, and I was trying to remember how to get to the stray fairy, but I think I decided to skip that off for now and just head on over to the next room, which is actually the next mini-boss. This is where I think maybe they got a little lazy, and pardon me, I'm just trying to remember where the room is. And the chest. It's not there. Try looking elsewhere. Oh, okay. I'll just give up and go this way. Deku Link is cute, but he is very vulnerable. So, switch over. Time to fight the next mini-boss, which, again, kinda lame. It's just another Wizrobe. It just has more teleport spots this time. But again, with the compass in hand, it really isn't any more difficult. If he's really so far off, you could just use arrows, but I suddenly realized fire arrows would deal more damage, so yeah. Also, the bunny hood probably could have been of some use. So let's put it on. Yeah! I love the bunny hood. I love it so much. It's the best mask in the entire game. Who doesn't love that extra speed? Up! Went too close too quickly! This is an example of when I would use the arrows when he's up in elevation. Then, of course, starts the second part of the fight, which, again, use the compass. It's not hard at all. If you don't have the compass, that's a little more concerning, but why wouldn't you have it by this point? The compass is really useful in the N64 games, more so than most other Zelda games, just because you can't see where you are on the map unless you have the compass in the 64 games. And run to the door! I like seeing myself in door opening cutscenes, I don't know why. And anyways, in here is the boss key. Yay. Now I could go fight the boss, but there's still the matter of the last stray fairy, which you definitely want to collect the stray fairies. The reward is very well worth it. Believe you me. In fact, it becomes super useful almost immediately after this dungeon if you're going for side content. If not, well, it will still prove very useful later on. Anyways, this is when I started looking for, the patch of snow there. That is where the stray fairy is, and oh my gosh, it is a nerve-wracking jump. You could probably use the deck of flower, but I don't know. I just went with the bunny hood and went for it, and thank goodness I got just far enough. And there we go. Now it's boss time. And the boss of this dungeon is absolutely amazing. But more on that when I get there. Just gotta remember the correct path to take unless you want to do more backtracking. That is the tricky part of this. Yeah, that way. Otherwise, you could probably try to lower the pillar, but no, that wouldn't do you any good. You would just have to start back from the first set of rooms and take the stairway to the eye room, where the invisible platforms to get back. I don't know how to describe it. It has weird stuff in it. Anyways, there, 100 rupees. I highly recommend you have 100 rupees by the time you're done with this dungeon. And if it's past the first day, I would recommend just playing the Song of Time once you beat it. After you see the Great Fairy, that is. Meeting up with the Great Fairy is important. Do that before finishing the dungeon, or you gotta do it all over again. Anyways, and here's the boss. Frozen in ice. We could leave it alone, but we can't get out unless we kill him, so shoot a fire arrow at him, and we get this cool visual effect. Gotta love the blur effects in this game. And here it is, the best boss in the entire game. Masked Mechanical Monster Goat. This one is always fun. Basically what you do is you have to turn to a Goron, and it basically becomes one giant chase scene. We have to constantly try and catch up to him. The thing is, Goat has many different attacks. His most common attack is to send out rocks from behind as he's running. What you're supposed to do is get up to him and try and deal some hits in, and I can't believe I got hurt there. He can also send out this homing electric orb at you, which he'll generally do every time you hit him. And if you get too far, he does various lightning blasts, which are very difficult to avoid. Just due to the fact that you don't get much time, it just zaps right through. You just gotta be quick. That's the whole thing about this fight, you've gotta be quick. And try and stay close to the corners when you're about to make the turns. Yeah, every time you hit him, he'll send one of those. Using the ramps is your best advantage to this fight, because if you hit him from a certain angle above, you can actually stun him, but of course you've got to be careful about the rocks. And if you get hit, it can be very difficult to regain your momentum based on where you are in the room, because it is very uneven. As he gets closer to dying, he also gains other abilities, such as allowing stalactites to appear from the ground to just stop you to a screeching halt. And when he gets even closer to death, he can even drop bombs, which that is very difficult to deal with. Yeah, see? Unfortunately, I got hit. Usually, if you can stay rolling into him, you can get tons of hits, but instead, let's do some punches. Another cool thing about this fight is that, like Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time, it's one of the few bosses that actually shows damage as he gets closer to death, and that he will actually start smoking. And you'll even see electricity surrounding him as he starts to short circuit, I guess. I think it's a really cool little detail. I really like it a lot. It'd be cool to see more bosses show signs of wear like that. It isn't done often. I'm surprised he didn't do the bomb attack on me, because he usually drops at least one bomb every time I fight him. And I don't think it's because I was quick or anything like that. I guess I just got lucky. Not so lucky here, though. Yeah, that's what the stalactites do. They don't hurt, but it allows him more time to do stuff like that. Which, of course, is fun for him, not as fun for you. And we should just keep pulverizing him until he drops. I think he's got about 24 hits. I don't remember. I used to love counting boss hit points for some reason. Don't ask why. And yep, that is how you get all the hits in. That is the best case scenario in this fight. Anyways, after you pummel him enough, he'll die. Isn't that a cool fight or what? Anyways, just don't forget to pick up the heart container. I feel like this one can be kinda easy to forget about. Anyways, pick it up. I have a full row of 10 hearts now, and we get Goat's Remains. Yay! That's the second dungeon down. The dungeon itself is kind of standard, average, and such. Not the most interesting, but the boss is well worth it. Amazing fight.
What exactly are all of you? Guardians? So, you're protective gods? That's why you're in the temples, but why are the protective gods? No, wait! Are you listening to me? Hey! Wait!
And with that, springtime has come. And in the next video, I actually go and do a sword upgrade. And thank goodness, too, it was almost the first night. It would have been too late then. But until then, this has been TalesFan 109, and have a nice day.